Hey there. Okay, so we've all been there, right? You're at the doctor's office, you're getting a shot, a tiny pinch, and boom, it's done. But have you ever stopped to think about the needle? For that little piece of metal, its journey is just getting started. And it's a pretty fascinating and super critical one. So, where does it go? The needle, the cotton swab, what happens to it all? I can tell you one thing for sure. It doesn't just get tossed into the regular trash can. Nope. It enters this incredibly specialized system, one that's designed to keep every single one of us safe. And that system is all about managing something called biomedical waste. It's a bit of a formal term, but what it really means is any waste that's created when we diagnose, treat, or immunize people or animals. So, yeah, we're talking about hospitals, clinics, your local vet, even research labs. They all produce this stuff. Okay, but why all the fuss? Why is this so incredibly important? Well, it's because if this kind of waste isn't handled with extreme care, it becomes this massive invisible threat to all of our health. And I mean, the risks are really serious. We're talking about the spread of infections like HIV and hepatitis, not to mention accidental needle sticks for healthcare workers. And then there's the environmental pollution, chemical exposure. It's a long list. The key thing to remember is this goes way beyond just being tidy. This is literally about protecting public health on a massive scale. So, to fight all those dangers, this really smart, highly organized system was put into place. Let's dive in and see exactly how it keeps us safe. The mission here has a bunch of different layers. It's not as simple as just throwing things away. The real goals are to stop infections in their tracks, protect everyone, from the doctors and nurses to you and me, cut down on pollution, and make sure everything is done by the book, following super strict rules. Think of it like a comprehensive shield, protecting us from a whole bunch of threats we don't even see. All right, so how does this whole thing actually work on the ground? Well, the part you've probably seen, and it's maybe the most important part of the whole process, is that set of different colored bins you see in a hospital or clinic. It's time to crack that color code. Let's start with the yellow bin. This one is for the really serious stuff, the most hazardous biological material. We're talking human and animal anatomical waste. Anything that's soiled, bloody cotton or gauze, and even old expired medicines. Because this stuff is so hazardous, there's only one way to deal with it: total destruction. That usually means high temperature incineration or deep burial. Okay, next up, the red bin. This is for contaminated stuff that can actually be recycled. Think of plastic things like IV tubes, catheters, and syringes, but without the needles. That's important. They go through a super hot sterilization process called autoclaving, and then they're shredded and sent off to be recycled. Then you've got the white, kind of see-through container, and this one is absolutely crucial. It's built to be puncture-proof for a very good reason. It's only for sharps. We're talking needles, blades, scalpels, basically anything that can poke or cut you. This is the container that prevents those dangerous needle stick injuries. After these sharps are sterilized, they're shredded and sealed up or encapsulated so they're completely safe and harmless. And last but not least, the blue bin. This is for all the glassware, like those little broken medicine vials, and any metallic implants. These get disinfected and then they head off for recycling. So you see, it's pretty amazing. Every single piece of waste has its own special, safe path to follow. But just sorting everything into the right bin, that's only the beginning. The journey for that needle or that piece of gauze is far from over. So let's follow the trail and see where it goes from the bin to, well, beyond. The whole thing is a complete 6-step process from start to finish. And get this, the entire chain, everything that comes after, depends completely on that very first step, sorting it correctly at the source. If that one step gets messed up, the whole system is at risk. But when it's done right, the waste is collected, stored safely, moved in special trucks, treated based on its color code, and then, and only then, is it finally disposed of safely. So who are the heroes making all this happen? It's the frontline healthcare workers, especially the nurses. They're the ones making sure everything gets sorted correctly, right there at the patient's bedside. They use the right bins, they follow critical safety rules, like never ever recapping a used needle. Honestly, they're the guardians of this whole system, protecting themselves, their patients, and all of us. When you step back and look at it all, the rules, the process, the people all working together, you realize this is so much more than just a waste system. It's really our collective shield. It's this powerful, amazing example of public health in action, just quietly doing its job in the background every single day. And this isn't just a good idea. It's the law. It's a system that's always evolving. Take India, for example. The first rules came out way back in 1998. Since then, they've been constantly updated and improved by the Ministry of Environment, with a huge overhaul in 2016 and more tweets since then. It just goes to show how committed everyone is to making this system safer and better all the time. So the next time you find yourself in a doctor's office or a hospital, you'll see those colorful bins and know there's this incredible, invisible system working behind the scenes to protect you, a system that keeps millions of people safe every single day. And that really leaves us with one last important question to think about. How can we all do a better job of supporting the healthcare workers who are the frontline guardians of it all?